Doodlers, how are you doing? It's the 25th I was just about to say 25th of May. I wish it was. 25th of November. And it's 2:30 in the afternoon here in the UK. And the sun has come out, thank heavens. I've been out for a walk this morning. It was a bit dreich, as the Scottish say, kind of cold and wet and rainy. But it's brightened up because it knew I was coming online with you guys. And so I have to say hello to, where is it, the Meadow Park School Little Artists. I should say that this is not a made for kids show, but I'm not planning on saying anything I shouldn't do. But this isn't a kids show. But anyway, that's a YouTube thing. I need to kind of say that. But you're very welcome to watch. So it's a family show. Not a family show. It's an everybody show. That's kind of what it is. It's for artists. This whole kind of thing on YouTube where they kind of, the made for kids and not made for kids thing. It got very complicated about a year ago. And a lot of people got very upset. And I think a lot of people want to make money out of it, actually, but never mind. So I have decided that I make videos for people. I make videos for people of all ages. And I find some of my videos, very young children can follow along, even though I'm kind of making them for much older people. It's kind of a wide age range. And they've been doing my 20 emotions video, which I did quite some time ago. And it's given me an idea for something I might do now. What have we got also? Slightly worried about Silver Chariot. Are you still there? He says, I suck and school is a waste of time. Changed my mind. Oh dear. First of all, stop saying things like I suck. Because if you say those things, they come true. So start saying things like, hey, I'm really good. And then that comes true. Okay. So a lot of what you say becomes true in your life. So it's all about mindset, and I think a lot of people talk about mindset and get the wrong idea about it, and I think it isn't. I think if you keep saying negative things happen. Okay. If you say positive things, it doesn't necessarily mean that positive things happen. It just means the negative stuff doesn't happen because you're not putting yourself into that negative frame of mind. So if you kind of accept that, maybe you don't suck. Maybe you're just okay. All right. Being okay is all right. And not everybody has to be a genius. So sort of this, it's all about levels, isn't it, really? So if you're kind of thinking, I should be a genius, but I'm not, so I suck. But you might actually be right up here. And in fact, most people are way down here. So it's all relative. And just be happy with, where you are and strive to be better, particularly at drawing, because that's what we're talking about here today. And you can get better at drawing by doing a little bit every day, which sounds like what they're doing at Meadow School. So what else do we have here? Oh, hang on. I'm going to remove this in a pop-out chat window, and then I'll move that over to this screen here so I can read it better. Now we have, where are we? So we've been there. Hi, year one. Hello, Valeria, Sophia, Cindy. Hi from Arizona. It's so wonderful the way this gets all around the world, isn't it? Pat Walker. Hi, Micharis Markiel. Why is this live stream only has 18 watchers while you have 228,000 subscribers? That's a really good question, isn't it? Silver Chariot, do I eat pizza? Yeah, of course I do. And my favourite is probably sort of pepperoni. I think really. Hi, Miharu says again. Is it? I'm pronouncing that with a Spanish kind of angle, Mijares, but I don't know. I might be wrong. Hi from Philippines. Silver Chariot, how did you get so good with watercolour? Practice. It's always about practice. Lewis hello from Chicago. Hey, how are you doing? Silver Chariot, I want to become a developer. Well, work at it and you will be. Charlie B, hello. Carolyn, interesting start. Hi there in Germany. Silver Chariot, billionaire. You want to be a developer billionaire. Silver Chariot, nothing happened. Okay. Yeah. Developer billionaire. It doesn't happen overnight. There's a lot of luck involved. And being in the right place, having a very good idea. Brian Bedford, hi, watching in Gozo. Goodness, on my lunch break. I hope you are eating something. I'm trying to think, where is Gozo? I know where Gozo is, but I can't think. So I'm going to get a window up and I'm going to type in, where is Gozo? I know you're probably going to tell me by the time I found out. Gozo is an island in the Mediterranean Sea. I should have known that. In the Maltese archipelago. Exciting. I'm trying to think what you're having on your lunch break there. Something nice. And I bet the sun is shining and the sea is sparkling. And, Lord J. Hello, greetings from the Philippines. I got introduced to your channel when our illustration instructor used your videos as one reference of our subject. Thank you very much for making these videos. It's a pleasure. Thanks. Good to have you along. Nick Swift, would love you to draw and paint a hobbit door and surround someday, please. You mean the circular one? Well, that's an idea. Yeah. Kathy London, hi from Reading, London. Or are you in Reading? Are you reading in London? Because Reading's not. Yeah, if you're. There's a very noisy aeroplane going across. I think if you're living in America or Philippines or something, Reading is London, isn't it? But if I have to go through Reading on my way to London here from this part of the country, Reading is not London. Anyway, I'm assuming that's Reading, and you're not reading in London. Okay. Lil Mesvin, hi. Silver Chariot, haha. Love your charisma, etc. Blah blah blah. MXN, hi. There we go. So, what am I going to talk about today? I have no idea. I sort of think on a Monday, shall I do a live show? Oh, all right. So I set it all up, and I think, what am I going to talk about? So I put, hey guys, give me some ideas, and nobody does. That's because I have 220 something subscribers, 1,000 subscribers, and nobody suggests ideas. And so I sit down, and finally the time comes. Hey, I got my little button back. That's the most important thing. Look, so this is how I press. I press to change screens and things, which I've been missing the past couple of weeks. And Elgato, who make it, sent me a new one because the old one blew up. They're fantastic. What was I saying? So I don't know what to draw, and I sit down and I press the button and I still don't know what to do. And I could just kind of sit here and talk my way through, but I feel I should kind of draw something. But I like that Meadow Park little artists have been doing emotions. And I can mix that together with what I'm working on at the moment. So I'm going to press this button. Look, how cool is this? So where is it? So I press this button and pow, go over to the drawing camera. And here I am, and I'm going to need to find my glasses. So here we are, and I've moved my drawing camera over here because I'm working on a project. Oh, it's all so complicated. So I think that's all there. Let me just put that there so I know quite where I'm focused. So that'll give me a bit more room, and I'll check that the microphone's working as well. So at the moment I am working on, this is not the paper I want to use. At the moment I am working on the second book in my Walk of the Boy Who Can Talk to Dogs series. So this is the first, and I'm working on the second. And I've been doing, where is bits of, let's have a look. What have we got here? So that's not. So this is kind of rough artwork. And if you're following me on Patreon, then I've done a couple of videos recently where I've been drawing roughs from scratch and kind of going through thought process and all sorts of things, which people have said they really enjoy. So you can come and join me on Patreon if you like. So and then at the moment we have I don't really do chapters, I do scenes, I think is how I think of it. So each kind of new chapter scene has a little kind of little square picture to set you in the mood and to let you know kind of who one of the main characters is. And so I've been working on those the last couple of days, and these are the ones, these are some of the ones. There's another one somewhere, let me find. I think it should be in here. So these are all kind of pencil sketches. That's from the first book. So, and these are for the new ones. And I can show you then. So what happens with these? Then I scan these, and I put them into Photoshop. And in fact, I think I can put you over to this camera here, and bring you into, oh, where's Photoshop? Hang on, there we are. I'll bring that up into the middle like that. And where is that? Is that the one we want? That's not the one we want. So I need to find open rhythm thumbnail. Do you say thumbnail? That should be it. Yeah. So I hope you can see here. So I've scanned this little picture in, and I've got all these layers down the side here. And so, oh, well, why won't that go off there? Because that's there, that's right. So if I got a little white border I can take on and off like that. And then I've got this character, these people in that photograph. But I've scanned them all in so I can bring them all in and know that they're all going to be exactly the same with exactly the same background. And I suppose I can bring lots of them in there if I want to. So that's kind of the technique that I'm using, and if I wanted I could have a darker background still, so I can lighten up the different backgrounds. And it's all about layers. I'm assuming I have got a microphone going on here because this is a new thing. So that's kind of what I've been doing at the moment, and I can then come back to the overhead camera. There we go. So I'm thinking about, so this is all about dogs, and we can think about dogs and emotions. Dogs and emotions, that doesn't sound right. I've got to get the right kind of paper here. There we go. I know on, I don't suppose many of you have been watching the Great British Bake Off, but there's one competitor on there who is the most messy person in the world. And I think I'm a bit like that. I get it all nice and clear, ready when I get started, and boof, within 2 seconds everything is a mess. So I can do two things here. I can talk about characters. So this is Stella, who is the main dog character. And I think of her head as being, that's a bit bright, isn't it? There we are. I'm going to turn that one. I know I've got one extra. That's better. And I think I can turn that down. Oh, that's turning up, turning down, turn it off. That's probably the best thing. There we are. That's probably best. It's getting the light right, isn't it? Good. So, I'm thinking of this as being her brain box, but it's a sphere, and I've shown you many times about how you can create a sphere. And so it's kind of, if you think of this as being the moon, and that's going to be a north-south line going from the north to the south pole or the moon or the earth, and as you think of it as a moon, that's a kind of a new moon there, and that's an old moon or whatever. And this is kind of where we can build things on. So we can kind of build a snout out like that, which is basically a box, which is then kind of added on, which means then you know that the eyes are going to be roughly about there. And then we're going to want the ears sort of coming off like that, and we can sort of smooth this, and we're going to want to have a nose in the middle of that blob, and dogs have that line underneath there, don't they? And then that will come to about there, and then we can bring the lower jaw down like that, and we could have a collar. That's the word I'm looking for. This is a real problem doing this kind of live thing. Is that once you start drawing, then you know your language side of your brain just switches off and you can't remember the words. So if we put the eyes like that, and then we can smooth that around a bit like that, and we can put a nose in there, and then maybe a bit more. So this is expressions, you see. Now we want to have, if we put that little bit in there, then that just makes it just that little bit more sort of happy and smiley, just because it sort of makes a cheek, a sort of a smiling kind of cheek. And I'm going to actually draw a tongue, I think. So we'll have the tongue kind of sticking out like that, because that's what dogs do, isn't it? I guess I went for a walk this morning, and I've met a few dogs along the way, and there was one right at the end of my walk, and I thought, oh my goodness, let me zoom in a bit on this. I thought, oh my goodness, this poor old dog. Well, first of all, I thought it was pregnant and expecting puppies, and there we are, that's better, isn't it? So I thought it was pregnant expecting puppies, but I think it sort of had some kind of weight problem, and it was very, very old. Could hardly breathe. And it suddenly made a beeline for us. I was walking with my wife, and it sort of staggered over towards us. And I thought it was, wanted to protect its master or something. But it just wanted to say hello. Hello! And its owner was sort of saying, oh, he's 17. That's pretty old for a dog, isn't it? And I'm not sure about the ears, but anyway. So, 17 is pretty old for a dog. And but he said, oh, she just still wants to come and say hello, and still wants to come out for a walk, and dear, well, I hope I'm still like that. I'm old and cronky and still want to go for a walk. So this is a happy dog, and I'm going to blast this with my hairdryer, so watch out for the noise. And like I said, that's the bit that you don't see on my videos, because I edit that bit out, but I usually say, and when you're absolutely sure it's dry, then you can erase the pencil line. And I know it's absolutely sure because I've blasted it with my hairdryer, which I keep dropping on the floor at the moment, but somehow it keeps surviving, and it's got cracked there. And I bought this in 1984. And it's still going strong. And every day I think, is something going to happen to that? Is it going to keep going? Will it just keep going? Well, that's, yeah, old technology was built to last, I suppose. Now I'm going to be using, this is neutral tint, it's called. So because it's a black and white book, then, well, that's not neutral tint at all. It's got some brown in that and all sorts of things. There we are. It should be a bit more bluey than brown, really. So because it's a black and white book, then I'm illustrating it in grayscale. And then the next question that usually comes is, why is it black and white? Because it's a lot cheaper to print. And if you did a colour book, you have to print 4 different colours. You have to print the yellow and the pink and the blue, cyan blue, and cerise. Is it cerise? Yeah, the pink is called cerise. and you have to print those 3 colours and black as well on the top. So it just costs an awful lot more to print. And once you get in a novel and everything, people are just really wanting to read the story, and the pictures are extra. So that keeps the price down. Otherwise you just have to charge too much and people wouldn't buy it. I wonder whether there is I don't know if anybody read the Hugo, which there was a movie made of it, and it was a great thick novel, children's novel, and it had a lot of illustration in it, an awful lot of illustration in it, and I wonder whether you could actually get away with doing a colour version of it. You probably could, but you'd have to charge so much, and it's a collector's item kind of thing. And we want a little bit in the tongue like that there. Bit of shade there. Probably got a few little bits like that. And just carry on. You see, you can just keep doing this all day. I know I was talking about. I haven't talked about watercolour for a while, and I know somebody asked something the other day, and I thought, whoa, I need to just keep repeating that. The thing about watercolour that makes it different is it was Nikki. That's right. She asked about, do I use pure colour straight from this palette? And the answer is no, or very, very rarely. And the thing about it is, if you've got oil paint, I don't know if I got anything like that. I mean, if you've got paint in a tube, oh, this is white. That doesn't help. I don't really have any paint in tubes like that at all. I don't think. No. If you have sort of oil paint or acrylics, then the colour is in the paint, if that makes sense. The colour, the paint is colour, and when you put it down, you put down the colour, so the light comes along and reflects off it and reflects that colour back. So all the light is in the paint, whereas with watercolour the light is in the paper. And so when you I'll put a little bit of pink in there. So when you paint over the top of it, what you're doing is putting very, very thin layers of coloured water. So if you have, let me come over here while I think about this. Here at Christmas time in the UK, just about every family gets a big tub of sweets, candy, called Quality Street, and they've changed it now, so I think they're all aluminium foil kind of wrapped, but they always used to be wrapped up in transparent cellophane stuff. And part of the fun of Christmas Day was you'd have your purple one with a hazelnut and your yellow one with a toffee, and you'd unwrap and you'd smooth this cellophane out and you'd put them over your eyes and you kind of see the world in different colours. And that's the kind of thing that is going on in watercolour. So the light comes down and it bounces off the paper and it bounces through the paint layers that you're putting on top, and they're not paint layers, they are transparent glazes of coloured water that you're putting over, and the coloured water then dries. And so it's very, very different with watercolour, and you can sort of start very light and you can just keep building and building, letting things dry, adding on top, or sometimes you leave it wet and drop into it, wet on wet, all sorts of different techniques like that. So let me just come back over here and let's talk about expressions. So we can have that's kind of a happy expression. Let me just get this in the middle so I know where we are. And then let's think sort of similarly. Then I think if you're doing sadness, then you're going to want to turn this sphere around, and here then the we kind of got the reverse of where the North and South Pole are, and also the equator here is going pretty much straight across. And you could just have an equator going straight across like that, but this is going to curve as well. Okay, so we're curving down like that, because when you're feeling when you're feeling down, when you're feeling sad, I think if you want to draw emotions and things, it's good to act them out. And it's all right for me because I'm sat here in my little studio on my own and nobody's watching. I don't think anybody's watching. I know my mum is down there. My 94-year-old mum, I can just see her, but she's watching the telly. She's far more interested in antiques or something like that. So nobody's watching me. And I have a mirror as well, which I can look at. And when I'm not sure about an emotion, then I can go in front of the mirror. Or, in fact, I can come in front of a camera and take a picture of myself and sort of get it on the screen or something like that and try things like that. So if you're feeling kind of sad and depressed and your head goes down and your shoulders sort of come up. So here, now, if you look, my shoulders are actually level with my ears, whereas here, now, look, my shoulders are way down here. And I've gained 6 inches. Look. And so that's kind of what we're after. But this is a dog, so let's come back to it. And so again, we can build this kind of box thing, so that the snout will be sort of coming forward like that, and it's just a box that's added on the front. And we're going to want big, sad, baleful eyes, and we're going to have a nose there. And I'm not quite sure. I think I'm going to, no, because that doesn't feel right to me. So I'm going to do a kind of something like that, I think. And then again, the ears will droop, won't they? So all these kind of signals of sadness. And then again, we want to have the bend, the neck needs to come up. So here, look, the neck is down, and here now we need to sort of get it. In fact, we probably need it to be sort of something more like that, don't we? With the body around there. Let's see what happens. Poor Stella. She's not feeling very happy. You can put in the comments box, what do you think has happened to Stella to make it feel so sad? And we got big sad eyes. So we have a little tear maybe as well. Oh dear. I can hear all the year 1 little artists. Oh! And then eyebrows. Let's talk about eyebrows. So I have sort of quite noticeable eyebrows, but and you can think about, there's lots of things you can do with eyebrows, because if you go like that, that makes them look angry, and then they'll go the other way. So that'll be sad, and that'll be angry, and then that's kind of happy. So let's go back. So we're going to want something like that, and then we can bring the snout around there and the nose, and then just a little kind of like that. And then we're going to want the collar all the way up here now, and then I don't know, I'll have to think about that. It's not quite looking quite right, is it? We'll have to have the paws, something like that, and then the chest will come there. Paws, that will come down. Something like that. And we'll, and then the tail will be drooping as well, won't it? And we want to have. So it's, when you're doing emotions, there's nothing like, it's like acting. And I'll just blast this again. Hang on. And you need to kind of feel that emotion, really, while you're drawing. And quite often also I find that while I'm drawing, hang on, that would be coming down to there, and then we'll want something like that. It's a bit better, isn't it? There's something like that. And where's the paintbrush? There we go. Yeah, so it's about sort of feeling the emotion and pulling the faces. Quite often, you know, I'm always sort of actually making the face that the characters pulling themselves. So I'm going to do something like that, and I could just see it out of the corner of my eye. Oh, there's a baby robin on the on my feeder just outside my window. Yeah, so we could just do something like that, and a bit of sort of shade and shadow like that. And then I think if I'm just going to add a little bit more. So I'm sort of mixing, trying to get the right kind of thing. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to leave a little bit of space there, and then I'm cleaning my brush and then just kind of fading that out to try and get this kind of liquid look in the eyes, of sort of tears. I can't think what has happened. Oh, I'll come and look at your comments and see if anybody's tell me what has happened to poor Stella to make her, or has she just been a naughty? Has she been a naughty girl and been told off? She wasn't a naughty girl at all, but she's still been told off, and it's so unfair. So that's kind of. Oh, we need some shading in there, a shadow around, something like that. Let's come back here and see what we got. Oh my goodness, there's a lot to catch up on. There we are. So where are we? MXNDDDD. I think we're going to have to put you in timeout, I think. Okay, where are we now? So that was there. Right, hi, watching for goes. Yeah, we got that. So we've done that. I got introduced to the channel. We loved you to draw and paint. Hobbit Dog, we've been there. Hello, I'm new here. How's the book coming along? Cindy says, how's the book coming along? It's coming along, thank you. And as I've just been showing you. Miles Stajic, or Miles Staj from the UK. Don't know. Thanksgiving, that suggests here in America. Miles, yes, I've done on my Draw Stuff Real Easy channel. Yesterday I went live. There is a how to draw a cornucopia, which is a kind of a pointy curly basket full of fruit and stuff like that. That's Draw Stuff Real Easy channel. Hi, HM Stop Motion. Got to draw a Christmas tree. I have drawn lots of Christmas trees in the past, actually. And draw a plane. I've drawn planes, yeah. Plane. I've drawn lots of planes. Christmas tree. Rosamund Greiner, hi from London as well. I'm a PhD student learning about digital anthropology. That's really interesting. You're studying me. and everybody who's chatting, she's studying you too. You are being studied. Hi, Rosamund. What do you want to know? What do you need to know? Can my viewers help you at all? So, put a question if we can. Miles, aeroplane. Yeah, okay. I think I'm gonna have to put you in timeout too. We can do all this stuff. Right, there we go. Mike is good. Thanks, Clay. Hello, one question for you. What is an impact of becoming an illustrator to your personality? I think you're working for the PhD. I think there are different kinds of illustrators for different kinds of things. And I know I've been asked sometimes to illustrate things, and I've come back and said, no, this just isn't isn't for me. It's not my personality. It's not my style. Maybe it's just too serious, and and I like to do kind of wow, fun, zippy kind of illustrations, and where they need something much more calm and relaxed. And I think you do bring your personality to your illustrations. And the thing about illustration, which I always say, is that illustration is more about storytelling than it is about art. And very often you will see people, and you look at it and think, a 5-year-old could draw that. And yes, maybe a 5-year-old could draw that, but it's the storytelling quality that they have. And you can do amazing illustrations just with stick figures and tell incredible stories. And if you went and did beautiful, beautiful pictures, they wouldn't have the same impact or effect that a simple stick figure would. So your personality definitely comes to illustration, and in fact your personality is part of your style, and that is what a publisher is looking for. They're looking for that individuality. So I hope that answers your question. So Cindy Oakley, I do watch Bake Off. Yeah, good. Yeah, so we'll stop spamming idiots. Yes, I put them. Thank you, Teabag. So stop spamming idiots. Exactly. So I've put them into. There is a lot, isn't there? There we are. So it's having to go through all that. Carolyn, can you find step-by-step instructions of planes at Shoot? You can. The Shoes Drawing Channel. Exactly. Yeah. Kathy, please be patient. Can you? What's that? Hairdryer has been through a lot. This hairdryer has been through an awful lot. It's just been with me for about artwork for about 300 books, probably more. It's done a lot of work. Cindy, yes. Are you painting with neutral tint? Yes, I am. Yes. Erica Mayo. What advice would you give to someone like me who is at his first drawing class? Oh my goodness. Do you mean this is your first drawing class, or you're going to a first drawing class? If you're going to a drawing class and there are other people around, you're going to go in there and feel very nervous. And I think drawing in public is almost as bad as taking your clothes off in public. And it's similar to singing on your own in public. And I think it's like, you think everybody's watching me, everybody thinks I'm no good. But the thing to remember is that everybody else is thinking exactly the same thing. And just go and enjoy and learn and sort of not worry about it. And whatever happens, I think in a drawing class, you're going to finish at the end and you're going to go, oh, I didn't quite get that right. And it's very easy to come away with a negative feeling about maybe your drawing wasn't very good. So the thing is to look at it and say, oh, that wasn't quite good. And then say, but how can I get it right next time? You need to kind of bring intelligence and inquiry into the whole thing, and keep asking yourself, how could I have done that better? Where did I go wrong? And then say, yeah, I will get that right next time. And maybe even, how athletes and sports people, they hit that tennis racket wrong, so they just practice what they should have done. And it's the same thing. Maybe just practice that little line and go, that's what I should have done. Or, that bit, okay, that's what I should have done. And then finally look at your drawing and go, oh, that bit was good. And then you leave it with a good feeling, and then you just put it away for a couple of weeks. And when you come back and look at it again, it isn't nearly as bad as you thought it was. Because when you're really sat down staring at a piece of work, you're right in there, and you need to stand back at some point and sort of take it all in. And it's good to have that sort of couple of weeks and away from it, and you come back and go, oh, it's not as bad as I thought it was. And so always try and sort of find good points, because then that kind of leaves you feeling good about it. Paragenius. We have done that a lot, putting the candy wraps transparent cellophane over our eyes. Yeah, great. Love your work. Thanks for sharing, Q. Matt Marshall. Just want to say hello. Hope you're well, Mr. Q. Can't stay at work. Have a lovely day, everyone. Have a happy Thanksgiving. Yes, absolutely. And tomorrow is Thanksgiving, isn't it? And so tomorrow on Draw Stuff Really Easy, I have got how to draw a sunflower, because that's a kind of one of those symbols of that keep coming out for Thanksgiving. I've done a lot of Thanksgiving videos, in fact. If you look on Draw Stuff Real Easy, you'll find them on there. Hi. Oh yeah, I just noticed too, lots of spam. There was a lot of spam. No, further up, yes, another dog stole her bone. That could be it, absolutely. We got to the bit. Now we know. I'll just put in case we're trying to decide what happened. This is Stella happy, and this is Stella sad, and we're saying what has made her sad. So, we get back here. None is a spam card. There is a responsible. What was the name of the first book about dogs? It is called. Let me just find that. It's called Walker, the boy who can talk to dogs. And he can. It came to me one day when I was it's just about to end the show then. Now, what am I trying to do? I'm trying to change that. I've got the button and I can't press. Now I've got the button, I'm not pressing it. I was talking to a guy one day who is a dog whisperer. No, he's not. He's a dog listener. And as soon as he said he was a dog listener, this whole idea, I could see the whole thing. So, there we are. Cindy says, can't find it to purchase it. Oh, it must be on Amazon. There we are. Wang's Arts and Crafts. Hey. Stella must have forgotten her hair salon session this month. She does look a bit like that. Message retracted. Okay. Hello. This message is held for review. No, we can hide that. There we go. 1, 2, 3. Rock fan. Actually, that was a rather. That's the thing. That's a very sinister kind of message you put on there. That's the job we're doing, this kind of live stuff. Yeah. Anyway, Akimoni, hello, I am new here. Hello, Ed O'Reilly, thank you so much. We are going home now. I really enjoyed the lesson so far. We'll be back. Good. Yes. Going home time, sure, at school. Kenny Ack, hello, welcome. I was like, hello, have you ever done any oil painting? I did oil painting when I was about 18, a long time ago. When I first started doing, I had this amazing day when I got kicked out of maths class, and I was about 18, and sent over to the art department. Wonderful Mr. Roth, and he said, if you're coming here, you've got to learn to draw properly. And he just taught me, and it's just over break time in school. He just changed my life. And so I went home, and my sister used to paint, and so there were all these old oil paints lying around. And I just picked up, because that's all I knew. That's all I knew what to do. Started sort of oil painting, and I don't know, for about a year or something. That's because I didn't know what else to do. But it just takes so long to dry, doesn't it? And if you're doing commercial art, where you've got to kind of produce something today and they want it tomorrow, you can't do it in oil paint, I'm afraid. Felicia Stevens, heart, hello. Anna Bolunkic, I don't know. Hello, anyway. Miles, I apologise for spamming. That's okay. Happy ESA. Hello for Indonesia. 1, 2, 3. Rock Fat. I'm thinking of illustrating a children's book with each chapter having a different style based on the story. Do you think that would be a turn off for publishers? I think it might be, but that doesn't mean that it's wrong. Publishers are quite conservative. You know that publishing is a venture capital business. So basically, they got this bunch of money. They're going to put this bunch of money into paying the author, paying the artist, paying the printers, paying everybody, paying the truck drivers to get these books to the shops and the stores. And they reckon if we sell 10,000 copies, then we'll have made our money back. Any more, we'll make a profit. And so if they're going to put money into it, they're going to think, we'd rather spend money on a safe bet. And I think if you want to do something like that, it sounds a little experimental and possibly not commercial, but you know, it might be something that the whole world is waiting for. You just don't know. So, I mean, if you feel it's something that you have to do and get out of your system, you can do it and you can publish it yourself quite easily these days. But my instincts tell me publishers would go, oh, I'm not sure. Unless each chapter was a completely different story, like a sort of a book of fairy tales kind of thing, and then that might kind of work, but my instincts tell me no. Sam Inspire. Hi, Shoo. I make comics and I run a small business, but I draw really slow. I've had a hard time drawing different poses, searching for references. I feel super guilty about this. Any suggestions? I'm not quite sure what you're feeling super guilty about, the slowness or the poses. I think I think the poses is a thing, isn't it? I think reference is really good, and I know it's only about a couple of years ago. I tried to find my glasses. It's only about a couple of years ago I realised that, you know, a lot of illustrators, they actually kind of take photos. They're pretty well tracing photographs that they've copied. So when it comes to poses, you know, do lots of where are we now? Do lots of stick figures. So we could do stick figure dog, and then that's the sort of back legs, and that's going to be the paws. I don't know. Stick figure dog probably has to be more of a bean for the head, doesn't it? Yeah, something like that. And you know, just play with these simple things. But when it comes to drawing humans, I did on Draw Stuff for Elise, I did a series of stick figure things just recently. So if you think they were sporty kind of things, I'm trying to think. So if you're being fencing, for instance, there's your sword, and you'll be lunging forward, won't you? And then sort of lunging back like that. And you know, this is the essence of your pose. And again, if you want to start thinking, you know, well, look, you know, you build it up, and you know, sort of you start building the whole thing up, kind of like that. And then if you're wanting to twist it around a different angle, maybe from above, again, you know, we can do this thing with the think of your head as being a globe, and then boxes. So then you're going to have to turn this box to view it from above, and we're going to have, so that's going to be, say, that leg will be coming forward, and then that one will be lunging behind, and then this one will be coming forward with the sword, and then that one is sort of going back and up, except the body is twisted, isn't it? So so again, and in fact your head will be much straighter, so we'll have that up like that, and then we can have the body more kind of twisted that way. And so it's kind of playing with these things, and you know, you can kind of work this out without reference. And that will be kind of like that. And then we'll have the hand up there and something like that, and that's kind of being viewed from above. If I move it along a bit, we can turn it around to look at it from sort of this way, and again I'm just trying to think how. So we got the body twisted to one side, and the hand will be sort of coming out that way, and this one will be coming up that way, and so it's, you know, and then that's going to go off that way again. And in fact we probably want a sort of a mask thing on there, don't we? Something like that. And you know, it all really does kind, you know, in all your drawing books, you know, all the drawing books you've ever looked at, they always start off, you know, start with a you know, a stick person, and there they are running along, you know, and you'll always see these kind of things in how to draw books, and there's a reason, because this is the basis of building you know, a body, and being able to draw them from different kind of angles. And then if you kind of start turning those lines then into sort of shapes, then it all sort of starts coming together. But again, it depends on your style, and you know, and if you're doing a very, very hyper realistic photographic kind of style, then you probably do want to have very realistic photographic reference. So where are we now? Let's see how we're doing. I hope that kind of helps. Suggestions, that was Sam Inspire. I hope that helps a bit. Nemal Bose, how are you? I'm fine, thank you. Valeria Sophia Cadillo Luca. Hi, I was in class. Sorry, but I'll be here. Welcome. Cameron Doggo, hi. Arca Chowdhury, hello. Nemal Bose, what's your name? It's in the title, ShooRayner drawing. I am ShooRayner. Cameron Doggo, hey ShooRayner, hey, how are you? My favourite brush is the oil brush. There you go. But I just can't get on with oils at all. So, but that's practice, isn't it? And I've spent so much time working with oil paint, with watercolours, that I've sort of got much more used to watercolour brushes. Ariel, what is your most essential art supply? A pencil and a piece of paper, and you can get a pencil free from IKEA if you ever go there. People give away pencils and pens. It doesn't matter what you draw with, and you don't need a piece of paper. If you haven't got a piece of paper, go and find a waste paper bin somewhere. There'll be an old spare piece somebody's thrown away. You can draw on the back if it's written on one side. It doesn't matter. Just draw. That's the essential thing. Paper and pencil, and it can be anything. It doesn't even have to be a pencil. It's something you can make marks with. I've many times been stuck thinking, oh, I really want to draw that, and having nothing there, and you know, sort of made marks for things. So in the old days when everybody smoked, there were always boxes of matches around, and ashtrays and things like that with burned out matches, and you could sort of burn a match and create your own little mini charcoal thing. So I've quite often drawn with burned out matches, whatever there is. There's no excuse not to draw. There's always something that you can make a mark with. Okay, so that is the essential supply. Something to make a mark with, something to make a mark on. It could be your little brother, even if you're desperate, make a mark on that. Ask them first. What do the Rocky? Hi, Shu. I was talking about the spammers mentioning the same thing over and over. Thought maybe you took my comment out of context. No, not at all. Sorry, no, that's right. Crispin Dry. I'm late. Just got up. Bad news. It's that I'm in the UK. Are you on the night shift or something? Anyway, or just got up. It's lockdown. Yeah. A dog perspective is tricky. Perspective is tricky. If you look back a few episodes of my live shows, I did quite a lot about perspective, and I've done quite a few perspective videos. I've got a whole little series. If you type ShooRayner perspective, you'll find I've done various things on that. In fact, while I'm at it, why don't I tell you to subscribe? Very quickly, while you are watching this, look for a subscribe button and click it, and then click the little bell that pops up, and then click the word all, and then you will be notified next time I have a live stream coming up, because you'd much rather be watching this live than watching it afterwards. Go on, make sure you are subscribed to the ShooRayner live drawing channel. Oh yes, have you subscribed? It's down there somewhere. Click it. And when you do, ring that bell so you get notifications for when I'm going to do another live show. So Cindy says, while I'm trying to illustrate my grandchildren for a family, but my daughter and I are writing, I'm never quite sure how much detail to draw. I want the illustration to resemble the kids. It's so difficult, isn't it? And And yeah, I know we talked about this a couple of times, Cindy, and I'm just trying to think. There's a little thing I did when we were on vacation a little while ago, at the end of first lockdown, and so we managed to meet up with family a bit. Let me put it down on that camera, and so we were on the beach, and this is my wife. And her nephew, and her nephew's wife, and their little baby, who's kind of 1 year oldish, he's about 18 months or something like that. And there are very, very few lines in there. And here, look, there's nothing. And here, there's the only thing that's to say about her is that she's expecting. Again, there's going to be another little one coming along, so there's a bit of a shape there, and the ponytail, which is very much says about her. And this is Mrs. Rayner, and it's her, and people look at it and they know that it's her, they recognize it's her, and I think it's about the stance and the positions that, you know, sort of people have a way of standing. So in theory, and you know, and they were saying, oh, please can we have a copy of this, please can we have a copy of this, because it sort of meant so much and said about the day much more than a photograph did for them. So let me come back. So how much detail do you need to put in? It's about getting the essence of the characters, and I think if you're doing a book, again, let me come back. If you're doing a book, I think you kind of start off with simplifying the character. I think, you know, especially if you're new to it, and you know, if they got a bob, you know, or a sort of, you know, simple hairstyle, you know, then just kind of work it out to make it really quite simple, and just give them those simple you know, that's all you need is those expressions, and you've got all those things. We were talking about expressions before, and you know, you can with exactly the same things, then you can, you know, sort of have completely different expressions within that, you know, simplified design of the character. And then if you have to sort of turn them around, then you can sort of do this sort of semicircle thing, you know, turn it into a sphere, and then you're going to want to have the eyes about there and the nose about there, and then you've got the line of hair. It's going to be sort of something like that, isn't it? And that will come there, and sort of make it easy on yourself, but to definitely say that it is one person, you've got to find these things. The hair is a big thing to help you identify a character, and I call them character identifiers. And you know, and if they've got, you know, if they got a big nose, you know, you can give them a big nose, and you know, if they always sort of wear a polo neck or something, then you always give them a polo neck, and you sort of can build them up by, giving them the clothes that they wear, the recognisable things about them. And they might have sort of recognisable little mannerisms. So they might have sort of ways of just sort of holding their hands or something like that. Some people, they'll sort of do, well, we know a president who does an awful lot of that, don't we? So some people have these very recognisable mannerisms, which you can then put in as well, and we come back to that. And so there are character identifiers that help you identify clothes, the clothes that they love, or the colours that they really love, and all that kind of thing. Arpit Anand, hello, could I draw a truck? I could, but I'm not going to now. Robina Nurse, wow, old man. I'm not sure quite what to say about that. Okay. Where are we? Oh, no, I'm losing stuff here. Where are we now? That was there. Wow, old man. There we are. Bashta. It's weird being on live. It certainly is. Robin Nurse, pencil. Sam Inspired, thank you very much. And yes, I have a simple style. I would love to show my comics to you. Could I send you a mail or share them with you on Instagram or something? If you have a look on my website, you will, or look on my YouTube channel page. You'll find somewhere in there. You'll find an email address. So and have a look at that. Alcatraz, how to draw a man, please? Yeah. Does drawing ever bore you? Robin Inez, no. No. What an extraordinary question. There we go. And I don't think I could sort of say much more than that. 1, 2, 3, rocking back. Also, the children's book I was thinking about illustrating would be a time travel story. So the different styles would be based on the time period. Not sure if that's ever been done, but that's an interesting idea. That could work. That could work. You just have to try it. Don't do the whole book. That's the other thing. Is publishers like to have their input and they like to make sure that it's commercial. So if you've got that idea, sort of pencil out an idea and maybe 2 or 3 bits of artwork to show what it might look like, because they would like to edit it and sort of help shape it into a more commercial kind of thing. So don't do the whole thing. When you go to a publisher, take a synopsis, unless you want to do the whole thing. But if you go ahead and finish the artwork, they're going to have a feeling like, well, we haven't had anything to do with this. It's not ours. And a publisher wants to be involved, and they want to, sort of guide you here and guide you there. And so, yeah, don't do the whole thing first. Just work it out as an idea and try and sell the idea. Joseph Miller, hi Shoo, greetings from Connecticut, USA. Hello there, how are you? I'm never sure if you put the C in the Connecticut. I mean, when I say that, I think of Spencer Tracy and Catherine Hepburn. Yeah, Catherine Hepburn, Connecticut. Anyway, sorry. Daniel T. Hi Shoo, thank you for all your tutorials. They have been very helpful. Thank you. Elliot Ponsuarez, greeting from Peru. How are you doing? I think you're having lots of interesting things with your president and things going on there at the moment, I think, in Peru. So, Martin Brady, hi. Roman Janet, hi. Woo. MB, big hello from Belfast, Northern Ireland. Love my art. Fantastic. How are you doing over there? And Ark Chowdhury Arts, how to draw a boat. I've done how to draw various boats. Okay, just put ShooRayner and the thing you want to draw, and you'll find I have done quite a few videos of them. Cindy, thank you for the help. That's no problem. Random comments. That's a good name, isn't it? How do you deal with artist block? Don't get it in the first place. Oh, that's not helpful. I've done videos about this, and I think the more you panic, the worse it's going to get. So if you look, ShooRayner drawing, I think it's called How to Get Your Mojo Back, I think. It's just relax for a bit, forget about it, and just don't draw for a bit, because maybe you're just worn out and you don't want to draw. Might be a lot of other stuff going on in your life and you might want to sort that out first, and adding a feeling of guilt that you haven't been doing any drawing is not helping. And you might just be burned out and run out of ideas and inspiration, in which case you need to get out a bit and go to museums and sit around in cafes sketching and things, and just keep looking for something new that's going to interest you and take you off in a new tack. And you might just have artist block because you're desperately trying to force yourself to do one thing which you're actually not really interested in anymore, but feel you should continue. And it's okay to drop stuff and move on, and say, I've done that. And I've taken that as far as I can. Now this interests me. This is what I'm going to do now. So that's my best advice in 2 minutes. Mukhtar Ahmed, how to draw a mountain with watercolours. I kind of done on hot. This is very precise on hot pressed paper. Sorry, I had an art exam for school and I couldn't be creative or wasn't confident or anything. Is there any advice? Nothing like an exam. Oh dear. See, I remember when I never really did art exams. I think so when I was 18 or something, then we had an exam. But that was, you had time to prepare and think about it, and you didn't read. I think if you're sort of going in and saying you have to draw this in the next 45 minutes, and we're going to be judging you, I think there's a lot of pressure. I don't know, but then to be creative as well, and to come up with ideas and angles, I think it's preparation probably. So if you know that you've got an exam coming up like that, is to put yourself under pressure and go through it, rehearse it. I think so many things you can get through with rehearsal. So just stick yourself in a room for an hour, maybe get somebody to just sit there and watch you, and sort of do, find old paper, exam questions and sort of do that and ask people what they think and get some feedback and rehearse and practice. That's a really good way to go ahead of it. Rockin' fan, thanks for helpful advice. Thank you. Horse Tacker. Oh, lots of questions going. Hey there. I found the channel off a light table, light pad review. Hi. Since people are bringing up locations, you're from California. Hi. I use my light table all the time. Chris, just discovered your channel today and then found you were streaming live. It's great to have on while I draw my first illustration for a picture book for university. Awesome. Cool, that's really good. And Mukhtar Ahmed, do you have an artist license? Ha ha ha. Yes, I do. Shivani, sir, you are so amazing person. Like your drawings. Thank you. Mukhtar Ahmed, do you have an artist license? I've just done that. Love you from Bangladesh. Shivani, which things he draw? Thank you for your advice. It won't be fun. Message retracted. Trails. Shoo, I'm alive. Just about sent off for a test kit because I've been coughing a lot and my temperature's gotten bad, but still alive for now. Oh my goodness me. Well, I hope you haven't got it, and if you have, I hope you just have the mild version and get over it quite soon. It's tricky, isn't it? Anyway, there's going to be a vaccine coming along. I had online exams. Oh, an online exam. Okay, but it was freestyle, so thank you so much. Yeah, so yeah, if it's an online one, again, rehearse. If you know roughly there's nothing like knowing what is coming up, and rehearsal lets you know, and then you're not panicked, and you can sort of take things calmly and think, right, I've done this before. I know I do this, I do that, and I can fit this all within the time, all that kind of thing. You can only kind of do that by practicing. I'm talking about art exams, so I think we'll be drawing because the title is Drawing Live, says Mukhtar Ahmed. Yes, but I've been drawing, so you can go back and watch at the beginning. Horse Tucker, my light table is actually for a different use than yours. I don't count draw, but I need something to scan my film photography. Cool. I have a scanner for that. Smart Demon, hey, how are you? Any advice on how to tell a story with one's artwork? I think Yeah, I don't know. Are you a natural storyteller? This is the other thing, you see. So I think I kind of have a storytelling gene, which helps, but you don't. It doesn't matter. I think you can learn these things. So, you've got these idea of a story arc, where you start out, the world's against you, and then it gets even worse, and in the end, you marry the princess and live happily ever after, or whatever. So, these classic kind of ways of telling a story, and then in terms of illustration, then you want the style to fit the story. So there's no point doing pretty princesses in a space marine science fiction story. And so the style needs to fit the story, and it's about character as well. So if the story is about a strong character, then you need a strong character in your illustrations, and write the story. It doesn't matter how badly you are at writing, but sort of write the story and let that be like a script. Think of it like a movie script, and think then of each illustration as a scene within the movie script. And remember that you don't just plonk the camera down in front of the actors. You can move the camera around to any angle, and you can zoom in and out and make it more interesting. So I hope that helps. Right. I think I'm sorting. There we are. Do you do live drawing more often? I'm thinking about once a week at the moment. Hi, Arka Chowdhury Arts. I subscribe to your channel. Thank you, Spot Demon. He's an artist, not a storyteller. Mukhtar Ahmed, I'm a storyteller. I'm an illustrator. Chelsea, my vaccine is ShooRayner. I make you feel better all the time. That's great. X-Star Gaming, hi. Mukhtar Ahmed, laugh out loud. Smart Demon, thanks for answering. Tadish Raj Singh says WTF, which means Wigtown something festival. I'm just going to do this a second. If you enjoy these shows and you'd like to buy me a cup of coffee to keep me going, head on over to patreon.com/ShooRayner, where you will find all the details of how you can support this channel. In the meantime, on with the show. Well, we've actually been going over an hour, so it's probably time to start wrapping up. And do come and join me on Patreon, because you can get advert-free videos. I do advert-free videos from my Draw Stuff Real Easy channel, and put help sheets on there and all sorts of stuff. So you get lots more if you want to join in the world of ShooRayner drawing and Draw Stuff Real Easy, stuff like that. So there we go. I think we're going to call it a day today, and thank you all very much for being here, joining me from all around the world. I hope you all have a wonderful Thanksgiving in America tomorrow. And what else? What else is going on? Well, I hope you all have a wonderful time. Get your pencil and paper out. Keep drawing. And I'm going to press this button and say cheerio. Well, thank you so much for watching, and make sure you click that little subscribe button, and when you do, ring the bell so that you get notifications of when I am going to go live next. You can come along and join in and bring your ideas as well. In the meantime, stay safe, keep well, and keep drawing. Practice, 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 and I'll see you next time. You take care now. Bye-bye.